company can go from here. Bloomberg's Liana Baker joins us right now here on the desk. All right, Liana, I felt like, less than 2 months ago, we were talking about a multi-billion-dollar IPO. Now we're talking about a bailout for a company that seemingly has very little cash, already has high-yield debt out there, and its growth prospects seemingly in question.
Well, because it didn't do that IPO, it needs cash and it needs it quickly. So right now, it's in talks with two different groups. One of them is SoftBank, its largest investor, which has already poured over $10 billion in the company. And it's also in talks at the same time with JP Morgan, the investment bank that has the most exposure to Wework. Remember, they lent the former founder Adam Newman a lot of money, and they need collateral. So Wework is trying to decide which is the best option going forward. It's going to have to give up pretty ugly terms probably to both groups.
Interesting that both seem to be doubling down on their bet to a certain extent, or willing to take on more exposure. Can they do a bit of both, or does it have to be, is it mutually exclusive?
I think that they're looking at both of these options and they are not mutually exclusive. I think that Wework needs a lot of cash and they're going to go to the sources, the most sources it can find. And that's probably both groups, but the structure isn't fully clear. What terms will it give up to SoftBank? SoftBank doesn't control the company right now. Remember, they own a third of it. Do they want to go up to over 50%?
So that's the part I'm curious about. Is this sort of a situation where SoftBank is really the one that doesn't have much option here? Because, I mean, they're sort of in so deep already that cutting your losses is a huge loss. So at least this way they have, I guess, somewhat of a shot of making back some sort of relief.
There's a view that they're doing damage control as they raise the second vision fund. They've already said that some of their executives, like Marcelo Clore, the former Sprint CEO, would become more involved at the company. Should SoftBank gain control of Wework, I would expect that executives like Clore would come in to help fix things.
What isn't SoftBank by the end of this? I mean, they're a big VC. Are they going to become a private equity turnaround shop? I mean,
do they have the experience to really do this? I mean, this isn't sort of, Masayoshi Son's foray in managing a company like this. I mean, obviously he can hire someone to do it, but he doesn't have a track record of doing this.
So remember, SoftBank has experience in distress investing. They acquired Fortress a few years ago, which does a lot of, distress situations. I don't know if they've tapped the Fortress unit to help them, but there are certainly smart people in the room at SoftBank who know bankrupt companies.
and let's face it, Sprint.
Not
yet. But Sprint hasn't been all plain sailing either. Liana Baker, great to have you. Thank you for taking us through the ever more dire options, it seems. Let's have a quick look at the S&P 500 and indeed, well, markets in general, because we're currently lackluster when you look at the S&P. We're currently